Hello and welcome. If this is your first time visiting the channel, I'm so glad you're here. This is a space where we talk openly and honestly about health, aging, and all the things no one else dares to say out loud, especially after 60. If you haven't already, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. And if you find this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with someone else who might need to hear it today. Now, let's talk about something a little personal, shall we? You're 70 and masturbate daily? Don't be ashamed. It's not weird. It's wise. For some, that sentence might feel shocking. For others, it's simply the truth. Either way, this video is here to remind you. There's nothing strange, shameful, or inappropriate about staying connected to your body at any age. In fact, it might be one of the wisest things you can do for your health and emotional well-being. We're going to explore this topic gently and honestly, with no judgment, just real understanding. And hey, if there's anything in this video that doesn't sit right with you, or if you think there's something we could do better, please leave a comment. Your feedback means the world, and it helps us create content that truly serves you. Now, take a breath, get comfortable, and let's have a real talk. One that might just change how you see yourself and your body from here forward. Have you ever found yourself wondering, is it strange that I still masturbate at my age? Maybe you felt a bit embarrassed about it, or even kept it a secret. But here's something you need to hear. If you're over 70 and still pleasuring yourself, you are not weird, and you are definitely not alone. In fact, there's real wisdom in staying connected to your body, and science is starting to back that up. Let's face it, society doesn't talk much about older adults and sexuality. And when it does, it usually focuses on what we shouldn't do anymore. But our bodies don't suddenly stop needing comfort, release, or connection just because we're aging. That need doesn't vanish. It evolves. Masturbation, for many people, is more than just a moment of pleasure. It's a way to stay emotionally grounded, physically aware, and even healthier. When you stimulate your body, you boost circulation, particularly in areas that need it most. That supports tissue health and can improve pelvic comfort. You also release hormones like dopamine, endorphins, and oxytocin, which can ease stress, lift your mood, and even help you sleep better. For those living alone or navigating the loss of a partner, masturbation can also be an emotional comfort. It's a reminder, this is your body, and it still matters. You still matter. There's dignity in continuing to care for yourself, even, and especially, in private. Now, of course, if you have heart conditions or other health concerns, it's always smart to talk to your doctor. That doesn't mean masturbation is harmful. It just means it's wise to understand your limits, just like with any other physical activity. But unless advised otherwise, there's no reason to stop if it brings you peace, release, or joy. And here's something that's often overlooked. Keeping that connection with your body, even just a few times a week, helps maintain responsiveness, comfort, and confidence. Just like walking keeps your legs strong, pleasure keeps your nervous system engaged. This isn't about performance. It's about presence. And if you've ever worried that what you're doing is wrong, or odd, or shameful, I want to tell you, it's none of those things. It's natural. It's personal. And for many, it's healing. You are not too old. You are not out of time. You are still wonderfully, beautifully human. And if this practice still brings you something meaningful, that's not weird. That's wise. Let's keep going and look at how this habit can impact your energy, your mindset, and even your relationships with yourself and others. So now that we've opened up the conversation and reminded ourselves that masturbation after 70 isn't strange, but actually wise, let's talk about how this habit connects with how you feel on a daily basis, physically, mentally, even emotionally. Because the truth is, at this stage in life, energy doesn't just come from how many hours you sleep or what you eat. It also comes from how you manage your stress, your emotions, and your sense of connection, especially with yourself. And this is where the conversation gets even more meaningful. Many older adults, men and women alike, feel a kind of quiet exhaustion that creeps in during the day. It's not just the kind of tiredness you fix with a nap. It's a deeper fatigue, like your mind is foggy, your motivation is slipping, and the smallest tasks take more effort. And here's what's important. That can sometimes be your nervous system asking for more balance. As we get older, our bodies don't recover from stimulation as quickly. When we're young, we can bounce back from anything: intense emotions, workouts, excitement, even sexual release. But after 65, our nervous system is more sensitive. Every burst of energy we spend, physical or emotional, takes longer to recharge. And yes, that includes masturbation. Now, this doesn't mean it's bad. Not at all. But if you're doing it daily and feeling more drained, less clear-headed, or emotionally flat afterward, it's something to notice. Your body might simply be asking for more time between those moments. Slowing down can actually help you enjoy the experience more and leave you feeling stronger, not weaker, afterward. Let's talk about sleep too. A lot of older folks struggle with falling asleep or staying asleep, and some people turn to masturbation as a way to relax before bed. That can work, especially if it helps release tension. But in older age, that same release might have a different effect. Instead of calming the mind, it can sometimes overstimulate the nervous system, especially if it's intense or rushed. That's because as we age, our hormones become more sensitive. The brain's balance between dopamine, the feel-good hormone, and melatonin, the sleep hormone, is more delicate. So that moment of pleasure might actually disrupt your ability to drift into deep sleep if it's too close to bedtime. If that sounds familiar, if you fall asleep quickly but wake up often, or feel restless at night, you might consider adjusting the timing. Try giving yourself a few hours of wind-down time afterward. You may be surprised how much deeper your sleep becomes. And beyond sleep and energy, there's your emotional balance. Sometimes, after masturbation, especially if it's too frequent or used out of boredom or loneliness, people feel a kind of emotional dip. It's not depression exactly, just a lack of spark. That's often related to dopamine fatigue. When your brain gets those little hits of pleasure too often, it becomes less sensitive. Suddenly, you need more to feel the same. And everyday things don't bring the joy they used to. Again, this doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means it's helpful to check in with yourself. Are you still feeling good afterward? Or are you feeling flat? Are you using it to add joy to your day? Or to escape from it? Because the truth is, solo pleasure should enrich your life, not replace it. So if you notice you're doing it more out of habit than enjoyment, or using it to fill a gap where connection used to be, it might be time to look gently at what else your heart might be needing. There's no shame in that, only wisdom. As we continue this honest conversation, let's talk about something that doesn't get brought up nearly enough: the quiet physical changes that come with age, and how regular self-pleasure can either support or challenge those changes, depending on how we approach it. One area that often goes unnoticed is the pelvic floor. These are the muscles that support your bladder, your reproductive organs, and your lower abdomen. For many people over 65, those muscles start to weaken naturally. That's why some people begin to notice things like leaks when they laugh, sneeze, or move too quickly, or waking up more frequently during the night to use the bathroom. Now, you might not think masturbation has anything to do with that, but it does. If the muscles around the pelvic floor are being used too often, too intensely, or without enough recovery time, they can get tired. Just like overworking any other part of your body, that can actually make those little bladder control issues worse, not better. But here's the good news. It works the other way too. Gentle, mindful self-stimulation, paired with simple pelvic floor exercises, can actually help strengthen that area. So if you're experiencing discomfort, urgency, or even just a subtle change in how your body feels down there, don't ignore it. Don't be embarrassed. It's your body telling you to shift from routine to awareness. A little gentler, a little slower, a little more connected, and you can support your own health in a very real way. And speaking of connection, let's talk about emotional intimacy. Masturbation is often described as a solo experience, but in truth, it's very much connected to how we relate to ourselves and others. For some people, regular self-pleasure becomes a way to stay in tune with their body, their emotional state, and even their sense of joy. But for others, especially if it becomes a substitute for other kinds of closeness, it can slowly create distance. It's easy to slip into a habit where this becomes the main source of comfort, especially if you've lost a partner, or live alone, or simply find it harder to connect with others. And there's nothing wrong with seeking comfort. But if you find that your solo time is replacing social time, that you're avoiding interactions or losing the desire to be around others, it might be worth exploring ways to bring more connection back into your life. Sometimes it's as simple as calling an old friend, joining a local group, or even just walking through the park and smiling at strangers. Those small moments of connection can rebuild your sense of closeness, which, in turn, actually makes your solo time feel more fulfilling, not less. Here's what it all comes down to. Your body hasn't betrayed you. Your age hasn't stolen your right to pleasure. And your desire, no matter how often or how quietly it shows up, is not something to be ashamed of. You've lived through decades of change, love, loss, discovery, and growth. You've earned the right to know yourself, care for yourself, and honor what your body still wants and needs. Whether you masturbate once a week or every day, or not at all, the key is that you do it from a place of awareness, not guilt, from connection, not avoidance, from wisdom, not shame. Because you are not too old for pleasure. You are not too late for joy. You are not weird. You are wonderfully human. So keep listening to your body. Keep showing it the respect and care it deserves. And most importantly, keep being kind to yourself. You've earned that more than anyone. And before we end, if you're wondering what you can actually do with all this, let me offer you a few gentle pieces of advice. First, start paying attention to how you feel afterward. Not just physically, but emotionally. Are you feeling energized, relaxed, tired, maybe a little low? These are all signals, not judgments. They help you understand your body's needs as they shift with age. Second, give yourself permission to slow down. Don't treat pleasure like a race or a routine. Make space for it. Let it be a form of care, not just release. And if you need more rest between moments, that's not weakness, that's wisdom. Third, stay open to connection, even if you enjoy your own company. And you should. Remember that human closeness in other forms still nourishes you. A phone call, a hug, laughter with someone who sees you. These little connections help balance out the solitude, and they matter more than you think. And lastly, drop the shame. You've lived long enough to know that no one else walks in your shoes. You are allowed to feel pleasure. You are allowed to take care of yourself in all the ways that matter, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So, whatever your routine looks like, let it come from a place of self-kindness. You don't need permission from anyone else. You already have it from within. And if this conversation made you feel seen, heard, or maybe just a little more comfortable in your own skin, then I'm glad you stayed with me. Share your thoughts below if you feel called to. You never know who might read your words and feel a little less alone. Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, there's nothing weird about staying in touch with the body that's carried you this far. That's not shameful. That's strength.